Woo! Are we in for a wonderful morning? Thank you, Reverend Cynthia James. Oh. Good morning. I'm Reverend Deborah Gay. It's my joy to be with you this morning. And as you can tell, we have the most magnificent guest speaker, Reverend Cynthia. We'll introduce her formally in a few moments. That you have already discovered what a woman of grace and power she is. So I'm looking forward to hearing her talk. So we know by talking to folks and doing surveys of folks that the way that people find CSL is because someone they know told them about it. And so that's why every Sunday we say, if you have a smartphone, feel free to turn it on right now, go to your Facebook page and say, I'm enjoying a wonderful service at the Center for Spiritual Living. And eventually your friends might say, tell me a little bit more about that. So that's the way we find each other, is we tell each other about the Center for Spiritual Living. And if this happens to be your first time here, you are very, very welcome. I'm so glad you're here, and we won't make you stand up or any of that stuff. But just so you know, when the offering basket comes, you'll see a card in it. It's called a connection card. And so if you want to give us your contact information, particularly your email address, we will then, during the week, send you a spiritual practice by email that we're all engaged in. So during the week, we're in community with each other in virtual spiritual practice. So do that. Then you can give this card, once it's filled out, to anyone with a name tag, or put it in the plastic box that's on the table at the north end. Now, last week, if you're here, you would have heard me say that last week was the first time, or the last time, you could nominate a nonprofit to get a donation from the Center for Spiritual Living. Well, surprise, surprise, the deadline has been extended 1 week. So you can still nominate someone today. So this is a nonprofit that you think is doing something wonderful in the world. In the fall, CSL will give a $100 donation every Sunday to 2 different nonprofits who have been nominated by us, the members of the congregation. So if you know someone that you'd like to nominate, an organization you'd like to nominate, go to the Create a Better World right out the double doors. Their table will have the application form on it.
So just breathe that in. Allow all of your awareness to move into that space within you that is that innermost sanctum, the Holy of Holies, your heart of hearts. And simply notice that all there is love. That you are filled up and infused and permeated with that power and that presence. One heart, one mind, one life, one love. And so resting in this truth, I open to a greater infusion of Spirit's love and life through me, as me, and from me, circulating right here and right now this day. I bless this service knowing that each and every moment is that power and presence of love having its way with us, speaking directly to each and every one of us through the music, through the wisdom and the beauty and the power and the grace of Reverend Cynthia and all of the musicians. I know that we are that love, and it is good, and it is God in, as, and through us now. How good it is. And so we are, and so it is.
Well, we're switching the order up just a little bit because Reverend Cynthia James is such a whole and talented person that she will sing first as she then goes into her talk. So I want to just tell you a little bit about Reverend Cynthia. She's a specialist in transforming lives and guiding people so that they can make a lasting healing. She's a speaker, a coach, a performing artist, and an award-winning author. She has written 2 books. They're called What Will Set You Free and Revealing Your Extraordinary Essence. She has done a project that's called Extraordinary Living, and it was selected to be honored by the Clinton Health Matters Initiative. She co-hosted a tele-series called Bridging the Gender Gap with her husband, Carl Studna. See if I said that correct. She has a master's degree in consciousness studies, which is the academic degree that we get as ministers. So she's both a minister and she has a degree in spiritual psychology from the University of Santa Monica. She is currently serving as minister in special ministries in the Mile High Church, which is our largest church in our movement. It's located in Denver, Colorado. So she's so deeply committed to creative expression and using that as a vital and effective healing tool to assist all of us in both our personal and our professional growth. This is a wonderfully talented woman. Let us give her a warm CSL welcome.
So I believe that we all have come here to express and lift our voices, and so this song was written to say just that. Thank you, wonderful background singers extraordinaire. Lift your voice and let the Spirit soar. You can walk through any door. When you're thinking, why can't I? Lift your voice and let Spirit fly. Freedom. You can choose it today in the Spirit. No fear. Open mind and body, then you can clear it. Surrender. In the silence, there's a voice, you can hear it. 'Cause there's only one Spirit. Lift your voice and let the Spirit soar. You can walk through any door. When you're thinking, why can't I? Just lift your voice and let Spirit fly. Joyful, you can choose it today in the Spirit. Receive it. Open mind and body, then you can clear it. Expression. In the silence, there's a voice, you can hear it. 'Cause there's only one Spirit. Lift your voice and let the Spirit soar. You can walk through any door. When you're thinking, why can't I? Just lift your voice and let Spirit fly. There are times in your life you know that you can't figure out where to go. The mind is screaming, there's no way. That's the time to hear Spirit say, lift your voice and let the Spirit soar. You can walk through any door. When you're thinking, why can't I? Just lift your voice and let Spirit fly. Lift your voice and let the Spirit let the Spirit soar. Lift your voice and let the Spirit soar. Thank you. Well, y'all have a fabulous music ministry. Can we talk? So I just want to start. Did you know you're extraordinary? Yes. Did you? Well, that was sort of, okay. I'll ask it again. Did you know you were extraordinary? Yes. Amen. Well, first of all, I want to thank Kathy Ann, for inviting me to be here. I just feel so honored whenever a minister invites you. They're saying, I trust you with my family, so I'm so grateful to be here. And I want to tell you that really you are extraordinary. You've always been extraordinary. You will always be extraordinary. And the thing is that do you have the courage to be free? And that's my topic today, the courage to be free. Courage really is about the mind or the spirit that enables us to face difficulty, danger, pain without fear. It means activating bravery. And if you're standing in a place of freedom, then you're exempt from all those outside things that seem to control us. And you are given the power to take action for your life. Now, most of us think that we would like to be courage until the stuff hits the fan, right? And when that happens, it's like all those old mechanisms, all those old patterns, all those old ways of being come flipping right into the space, and we become 3 years old, right? And it's like in this more than 50-something body. So I want to tell you 3 things today that I think are going to assist you in having the courage to be free, to be authentic, to be relentless, and to be available. And I'm going to start with authentic. In 1987, I was making my living as an actress, and they had this show on television called Star Search. And they had an acting category, believe it or not, and through miraculous unfoldings, I get on this show. And the thing was that you could win $100,000 if you were the champion. And I had written a check to myself from God in my bathroom, and it was on the wall. And all of my friends laughed whenever they went to my bathroom. God sent you $100,000? I said, not yet, but it's coming, right? So I get accepted on, and I'm on this show. And the thing is, you're doing all of these kind of vignettes. And I had studied acting, and so it wasn't like, deep, powerful roles, but it was fun. And I won 7 times in a row, and I was so excited. And then my worst nightmare happened. My competition was the girl next door, blonde, with the body of life. I'm like, really, God? So, I don't know if she was great or I was scared or was a combination thereof, but she won. But it didn't matter because I had already won 7 and I'm coming back for the semifinal. So I'm taking acting classes, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm getting ready, right? Semifinals come, I zoom through. Finals, who is my competition? Blondie. I was like, but I'm one with God, and I know the truth. And so we're doing the scene, and I'm this librarian, which is a little against type, but oh well. So I'm this librarian, and this man comes in to do a striptease birthday thing for me, right? So I'm all excited, and I've done all this prep, and I've got this librarian down, and I'm sitting there, and I go through the run-through, and I'm sitting there watching the rest of the stuff. And this producer comes over, who has hardly ever spoken to me, and he says, how you doing? I said, oh, great, I'm so excited. He said, so why do you think you won 7 times? I'm like, because I'm a good actress, and I've studied, and I bring life to the characters. And he said, yes, and the people voted for you. He said, and I just saw that run through and you weren't there. I'm like, this is not good news on the finals. And so he walked away, and I'm like, okay, what does that mean really? And what I got to is in that moment, I was so busy being perfect. I was so busy bringing, the talent and the learnings and all that to the space. I was so busy, I forgot me. And this is what's really interesting. There was a line in this dialogue that was really weird, and I would stumble on it periodically. And I said, okay, I'm going to bring me to this performance, win or lose. I'm going to bring me. And so we get up, and here I am in the library, and he comes in, and he starts taking off his clothes, and even if you're like really conservative, it would be a little disconcerting for someone to come into your library and take off their clothes, right? And so I start having these and I just let it be. I just let it be, and even though there was this line that was kind of weird, I was just with it, and it went with it because this librarian was a little shaken at this hunky dude in her library. So anyway, I win. I win $100,000. Thank you. Ed McMahon handed it to me on TV. My phone rang off the hook. But why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because that was a huge lesson for me. It was like, you have to be authentic. You have to bring who you are. I deal with a lot of clients all over the world, and so many of them tell me, I'm me here, but when I go to work, I'm somebody else. Or when I'm in this relationship, I'm somebody else. Or when I'm with this family member, I'm somebody else. And I'm like, why? What are we so afraid of? I think we're afraid of losing something or being judged or not being seen or understood. And I just want you to know you're understood because God birthed you. You're understood because you're here to be an expression of that divinity. You're an original thumbprint of God. So pretending that you're someone else, we are so good at masking, aren't we? Mary thinks she knows this person, Tom thinks he knows this person, and nobody knows who we are because we have protected ourselves. My question is, from what? If nothing is against you and everything is for you, what are you protecting yourself from? Bring your authenticity, bring your gifts, bring your light, bring your wisdom. That's what you came to do. And so here's the second thing, be relentless. It's really interesting how we talk a good game, right? I remember going to this psychic because I was looking for my soulmate. And I get in, and she says, what are you here for? I said, I'm looking for my soulmate. I'd like to get married. And she said, no, you don't. I said, yes, I do. She said, no, you don't. She said, let me tell you the vision I see. She says, I see this road, and there's this big boulder there. And I see you struggling to get over the boulder, and it never dawns on you can walk around. She said, that's how you are in relationships. It has never dawned on you that you must become what you are seeking and stop struggling and fighting for it. And so from that, I got, be relentless with my own expression, my own dedication to God, my own internal seeking, How many of you are great at radical self-care? One hand. This is not good news. We're not taught this, We're not taught to take care of ourselves first. We're taught to caretake everybody else. We're taught to be in service. We're taught to give, but we're not taught to take care of this vessel. This is the only one you got this time. Taking care of it is essential. So in my bio, it says that the Clinton Health Matters Initiative chose my program, and I want to tell you what that is. I come from 5 generations of women who have left this planet obese, depressed, and some kind of illness. And I don't know if you've noticed, but obesity is on the rise in this country. Diabetes is on the rise in this country. Heart disease is on the rise in this country. They are saying in the next 10 years, 60 to 65% of the people in this country will be diabetic or pre-diabetic because they are putting sugar in our food that does not belong there. That's a whole nother sermon. So I said, you know, when I looked at this chart of obesity, African Americans are at the top, and African American women are at the top of that. And so I wrote a proposal to do a program for African American women to change their consciousness, to shift their consciousness around health and well-being. And so these women apply, and they come in, and they do, they apply for a year. We give them a trainer, we give them a nutrition person, and emotional work. Because there's a lot of nutrition things, and there's a lot of trainers out there, but there's not the emotional component. You don't heal that. That's why we keep going up and down and doing these cycles. So when I got selected, it was one of the only grassroots. They chose 31, and they only chose 2 grassroots. And I was really grateful. So this whole year is like really working with these women. Now, this is what I want to tell you about being relentless. These women know nothing about science of mind. They apply. They're from the Black community. They don't know anything about new thought. And that's really good news, because let me just do a little side here. You know, New Thought people, you know, we're so brilliant, aren't we? We really are. And that's the good news and the interesting news, because the interesting news is we are brilliant at arguing for our limitations. Oh, really? You didn't notice, right? And or we find a way to be so sophisticated, so brilliant in ours and sophisticated in that brilliance that we go, I'll give it to God. As if, you know, I'll just throw it up here, God will take it and everything will be A-okay, and I want to know, how's that working for you? Right? Because those patterns still come back, those things still unfold. These women have blown my mind, because this is what they said. Every single one who came in for an interview said, this is my time. It is my time to heal. It is my time to expand. It is my time to learn how to take care of myself by any means necessary. I want to be in this program because I want to put me first. And I go to church, and I have all these things, but I still eat all the time. I still do things that do not support me, and I want to learn how to do it differently. These women have shown up in ways I'm astounded. They can be in resistance, they can be upset, and they show up every class. They show up every workout. They show up for the nutrition. You know, Vitamin Cottage Natural Grocers is our partner, and they've learned how to shop and take care of themselves. So it's extraordinary. What I want you to know is it's your time. It's your time now. Because if not now, when? And if not you, who? Only you can change your patterns. Only you can change your way of being. Only you can choose freedom. You know, I love how God works. You know, you get a topic, and then emails come out of nowhere. So this came, and there's no name on it, but I'm going to read it to you because it's apropos. It's called It Is Time. It is time for letting go. It is time to release the pain. It is time to lay down every excuse and rediscover this thing called you. Breaking down every barrier, laying down every judgment, and casting out all fear, doubt, and separation. It is time to embrace your truth. It is time to begin again. It is time to rise up, to turn within. Time to own your power and discover every possibility, to recognize every gift and step into the you that was meant to be. It is time. Winston Churchill said, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. How often have you made these bold statements, had people pray for you, written prayer requests about how you're going to change, right? Maybe you're like me and trying to climb over the boulder instead of walking around. It's time. It's your time. Be relentless. Do not let anything or anyone deter you from your health and your well-being and your spiritual practice. You have this amazing community here to support and feed you, and that's inspiring. But it's you who's got to go home with you. It's you who's got to do the spiritual practice daily. It's you who's got to stop eating all the interesting foods. It's you who's got to stop choosing those interesting people and then being mad about it. Because you have to become available. You know, we teach there's an outpouring of good in every moment, every moment. There's a still small voice that is whispering to you, be awake, be clear. You know, Howard Thurman, I love him. You know, he said, don't ask what the world wants. Ask what you can do to wake up and come alive. Because what the world needs is for you to come alive. So, are you alive? Are you vibrant? Are you radiating with your passion? Are you so deeply in love with God that your faith cannot be moved? I take people on these pilgrimages, and I love that because we get apart a while. We get to not be with the cell phones and all that other stuff, and we get to be together and pray and meditate and do deep spiritual practice. And I take people to Chartres, France. Chartres, France has the cathedral there. Notre Dame from Paris can fit inside of it, and it has the largest indoor labyrinth in the world. And I take people there, and we spend a week in deep spiritual practice. And then we walk the labyrinth. We have a private labyrinth. They close the cathedral, and we do a labyrinth walk. And this has been extraordinary for me because it has, I've had some profound places. That cathedral was a mystery school. And it's dedicated to the divine feminine. Men can come, but it's all about us. So 3 years ago, I took a group, and there was a young woman who got there, and she was a little distraught. She was pregnant, and just before she got on the plane, they told her she had to take a test because they were concerned about the fetus and that it was going to be healthy. And I said, so what do you want us to do for you? She said, oh, I just want you to hold the truth because there's nothing wrong with this baby. She said, I'm going to spend this whole week in spiritual practice and consciousness for this child. And she said, and I'm walking that labyrinth for the health of that baby and the health of my own consciousness to stand in that awareness. And she was inspiring. It was incredible to watch her day after day just go deeper and deeper into her practice. And she walked that labyrinth. It was like a dance. It was so incredibly beautiful. Well, that child was born. It's healthy. And now she has another child, and she's training to become one of my coaches. The thing that's so incredible about that is that in that moment, she said, I got to practice separate and apart from going to church. I got to practice in my life. I'm taking another group in September, and it's going to be the last time for a few years because they're going to be renovating. So if any of you are interested, you can talk to me at the table. But I want you to know you have to be available for God. And when you're available, I want you to know it's not always dance through the roses. Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes you're being asked to leap, and you're saying, yeah, I know the net's supposed to appear, but will it really? If you're not scared, it's too small. Did you hear what I said? If you're not afraid, it's too small because you're trying to go into the unknown. You're trying to open to different possibilities. I want you to know in this moment that it's very important that you remember who you are and to ask to be shifted, to be changed. I like to watch So You Think You Can Dance, right? And that crazy coach, Mary, she said something really powerful. That these two people danced, and they were really outside of their genre. And they did this dance that was soul-stirring. And she said something so powerful. She said, you never know how high you can go until you're asked. Those choreographers asked them to go deeper, and they dug deep. Ask for support. Ask for guidance. Ask for practitioners to be with you. Ask for your willingness to open and be available to the divinity and the still small voice. And here's the thing, the still small voice is really still and small. It's not going to knock on your door with a trumpet and say, come on out here on February 15th and go here. It's going to keep telling you, be still, open, listen, move, be clear. I'm going to play something for you because I really love speaking. It's one of my passions. But I don't think we get it till we experience it. So I'm going to invite you into an experience. I recorded something that was really about the remembrance of who we are. So I'm going to invite you to make sure that your feet are on the ground, that your back is straight, that your arms and legs are uncrossed, and that you open your body to receive these affirmations. Breathe in the remembrance that you are a divine expression of oneness and wholeness. Breathe in that you are amazing and light-filled.
I am loved. I am whole. I'm abundant. I am powerful. I am lovable. I am joyous.
I am beautiful.
I am important. I am inspired. I am
expansive.
I am brilliant. I am seen. I am powerful. I am heard. I am healthy. I am inspired. I am seen.
I am open and available.
I am unique. I am appreciated. I am appreciated. I am important. I am joyous. I am unique. I am creative. I am healthy. I am heard. I am abundant.
I am seen.
I am loved.
I am loved.
I am abundant. I am creative. I am inspired. I am unique. I am whole. I am important. I am healthy. I am powerful. I am whole. I am important. I am important. I am powerful. I am heard. I am joyous.
I am loved.
I am expansive. I am beautiful. I am healthy. I am important. I am unique.
I am strong. I am clear.
I am appreciated. I'm important. I am appreciated. I'm inspired. I am unique. I am lovable. I am heard. I am healthy. I am heard. I am seen. I am abundant. I am brilliant. I am creative. I am inspired. I am unique. I am heard. I am joyous. I am joyous. I am healthy.
I am peaceful.
I am important. I am whole.
I am available and I am open.
I am brilliant. I am seen. I am seen.
I am strong.
I am joyous.
I am lovable.
I am expansive.
I am clear.
I am loved. I am healthy.
I'm awake.
I am inspired. I am lovable. I am powerful. I am appreciated.
I'm alive.
I am inspired. I am unique. I am lovable.
I am health.
I am lovable. I am seen. I am creative.
I am safe.
I am loved. I am abundant. I am loved. Brilliant. I am whole. I am heard. I am loved.
I am loved.
I am joyous. I am loved. I am appreciated. I am important. I am loved. 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 I am inspired. Am loved. Am loved. Am loved. Am loved. I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. I am loved.
So we take that in. We take that in. And know that right here where we are, God is. That there is an energy and an essence and a truth that is flowing in every single moment. That there is a divine intelligence that permeates this universe. And that in this moment we awaken to the fact and the remembrance, the soul remembrance, that we are divine emanations of that one power, that one presence, that one life. We stand here so clear that God's grace flows as the very breath we breathe. And so we take this moment to step beyond fears and doubts, old ways of being, old patterns, Because the truth is they have no power. We activate a courage, a bravery that lives within us that is vibrating at a high level in every moment. We choose to stand in a place of power of what actions we will take and what reactions we will have. We take this moment to activate an authenticity that is extraordinary, that we bring our light, our originality, our creativity, our power to this planet right here, right now, nothing in the way. We just give thanks that we are relentless to stand in as the presence of the living God. We will not be moved. We stand clearly grounded in the awareness that we are one with every person, place, and thing on this planet. And so we are available. We are available for God to use us, that we are conduits through which Spirit moves and has its way. And I give thanks in this moment that if there is anyone here that is feeling challenged in any way with health, with thoughts, with finances, whatever it is, that in this moment we choose to let it go. It dissolves from the nothingness and which it came, and we open to the possibilities of freedom on every single letter. We know that God is the life that we are living. We open knowing that this truth is for us individually, for us collectively here, for every man, woman, and child on this planet. Freedom is available. Divine surrender is available. And so I am grateful for this truth. I release this word into the law. I trust it and I allow it to be. And I say, and so it is. Surrender. Let it go. Surrender. Let it all go. All the fears and the doubts the light. Open your mind. Surrender, surrender. 'Cause you know God is here. Yes, you know God is here. Yes, you know God is here. Yes, you know God is here. Let it go. Surrender the doubts and the fears. Surrender. And so it is. Thank you so much.
So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Surrender, God is real. Just feel like you have to take a breath, don't you? Take a little movement back into our bodies. Let me share a couple of beautiful things with you. You notice the altar that is on the side of the platform here. Each month, a different group from the church, from the center, creates that altar. And this altar this month was done by the graduates of our Inward Journey class. It turns out to be in memory of one of the members of their class who passed on right after the class. And so it's in memory of Priscilla Leanne Wendell. And they want you to know that her memorial service, the celebration of her life, is this Saturday, and everyone is welcome to come. It's the sanctuary at 2 p.m. 4 p.m. Sanctuary, Saturday, 4 p.m. Thank you. And just to in case you're going through any kind of loss, or you want to meet people, or find other women in the women's group, if you are a woman. On the back of the program, at the very top, there's 4 different things going on, ways to meet people, to find support. Today at 4, there's an adult children of alcoholics group, something new for us. Compassion through loss at 1. The drop-in connection circle is at 12:45, and that is a great place just to meet people. It's a circle that has a facilitator, and it's a way to find other people that come to CSL. It's upstairs in what we call the living room, which is right on the south side of the 2nd floor. And then finally, this is the monthly women's group meeting, which Reverend Heather, who did the prayer, leads. So if you'd like to be in a women's group, that's starting today as well. So I invite the ushers to please come forward and ask each of you to bring out your financial support to the center. Or if this isn't your Sunday to do that, just put your hand to your heart. And let us join in community and consciousness together. Let's take a deep breath in and know together. From this place of inner truth, we know, we feel, we experience the connection of all life. We know that each one of us is a perfect expression, an extraordinary expression of life. That there's no one just like you. And so we are each here to be that perfect, unique individual self that is of all life. We are here to be that creative being, to bring more of that good into the life, to bring in more of that love in our life, in the life of those around us. And so if we ever are feeling short or in struggle, we know we can come to this place of spiritual community and find others who understand, who witness, who see the greater good moving through your life. And so we today honor the spiritual community and support it through our financial contribution, through our presence, through our love and our service. For it is a wonderful day in a wonderful life and in this community. And so it is in the deepest joy that I join in with you, and let us say together, and so it is.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I